Alrighty, so let's start this off. My name is Jordan Wilman, and I'm a communications and public relations professional. I specialize in consulting with businesses and individuals and event teams with regards to their PR, communications, social media, branding, identity building, content, with regards to increasing their business profits, increase their business awareness, and in general, make an identifiable business culture and identity which people look for, especially in 2018 and moving forward. So I put together this presentation, and it's how to build and generate high quality content. And I have my 7 rules that I've learned from the last year and a half of doing consulting in this industry and doing work for PR firms, nonprofits, individuals, events, and large and small businesses. So let's get right into this. So the first question that I get from a lot of people is usually like, what's the secret? What's the secret to having good content that spreads, high quality content, coming up with your own identity, having good PR, having good communications in the company and with your clients? What's the secret? And the reality is that there is a secret, and it's that there isn't a secret. No, there is no secret. I don't care what marketers or advertisers or what other people tell you, social media marketers, there's no such thing as a secret, and they're full of shit. And I cannot stress this to you enough, that they're full of shit. And you see this a lot in advertising through LinkedIn a lot, and Facebook, and YouTube, and it's full of shit. So there's no secret at all. So what can you do to increase your awareness of your brand, company, organization, anything along those lines? Well, I have my 7 rules, and if you follow them, I put this out free. If you follow them, I guarantee you will see success, but you have to do it properly. And that is Jordan Wilman's 7 rules to follow. And I really think that I know that if you do this properly and you really keep this stuff in mind within your organization, the content you share with your employees, and getting out there with new clients, potential clients, that if you do follow these rules with anything that you end up doing in the communications PR realm of the world, you will find success. So my 7 rules, 1 through 7, I'm going to be going over all of these in a little bit of detail. First one's quality over quantity. The second one is be devoted, decisive, and disciplined. Third, generate organic and authentic content. 4, get better each and every day. 5, own your shit. 6, be patient. 7, fail and recommit daily. So let's get right into the first one. Quality over quantity. I did an article on this on LinkedIn a few months back, and it really kind of came to me after a few consultation meetings that I had with a few of my clients. And the reality is that you have to improve every area. So your branding, your identity, social media, your PR, written content, visual content, whatever it is, all the time. And it needs to be really high quality. At the end of the day, less content is actually more. So when you look at now with Google Analytics and how Facebook runs and how Amazon and YouTube and Instagram and Snapchat, all of these companies, even if they're owned by bigger, like Facebook owns Instagram, they're still trying to promote at this day and age high quality content and relevant content. So if you're just spamming the news feeds, you will not be able to really maximize your usage and maximize the potential marketplace that you have out there. Good quality content will always generate and gain more traction compared to more. So if you're an organization, and some do this really well, whether it's through LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, and you're able to generate maybe 2 to 4 really good content posts or videos or write-ups, or maybe you have your own kind of niche thing going, it'll do better than spamming the news feeds 4 to 6 times a day, which some people feel the need to do. Most organizations do not understand this, and it's something that I continually have to stress with people. So you really need to be engaged with what you're doing and making sure that there is an aspect of quality to it. As I said, too much sharing will lead to less views, less shares, and a smaller demographic. And this includes everything I mentioned. Facebook, Google, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all of these organizations want you to post specifically with them, and they're going to monitor the activity and the amount of content that you share. So just by throwing something out on Facebook and not having any context to it, especially with the new newsfeed coming here in the spring of 2018, depending on when you're watching this, it's not going to work well. So you really need to think about the kind of content that you're putting together. And maybe you do one post a week, but if that one post, say on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, gets a ton of shares, it gets a tons of shares and comments and likes, and it generates activity compared to something maybe you're doing every day that doesn't have the quality aspect to it. Keep that in mind. Again, it's absolutely baffling to me. The quantity mindset that a lot of people have and spamming news feeds, emails. This gets really annoying with organizations. I've had to stress this with a fairly big client of mine recently. Um, they say, well, I love sending out emails to my potential clients, especially those that subscribe to me. And I say, well, how are you doing it? Are you spamming their news feed all the time, or are you actually giving them relevant content? Are you giving something to them? Because all the quantity aspect over quality will lead to people unfollowing and blocking your content, reporting of content. This is becoming more and more relevant, especially now on Instagram, because if depending or not, if somebody has a sponsor ad that comes in their newsfeed, if they don't like it, they can just report it. And that's what you're also going against. A negative impact, a bad reputation, which to me that's key. Having a bad reputation, as Warren Buffett says, takes 20 years to get one, but you can lose one really quick. And it's honestly just fucking annoying. So don't annoy people with your content because you'll get a really bad rap. The aspect of critical thinking, which people do not use, baffles me to no end. And you need to use it when you're coming up with quality content. You really have to take time to do this. So if you want to take time to build quality content, you will end up building up a really good base for whatever your company or organization is. We get to one of my favorite. I've actually put this together on my LinkedIn a while back because I thought it was cool. Love the picture and the quote. Constantly thinking about how you can be doing things better and questioning yourself. And I add on to this, do it every day. Elon Musk gets it with all of his companies and how he lives his life every single day. Whether you like him or not, it's irrelevant. He's a pioneer in the human world. Just his outside thinking and his forward thinking and the way that he's continually driving everything forward. You need to be able to do that in your own life, personally and professionally. So be devoted, decisive, and disciplined. I wrote an article on LinkedIn about this as well. You get out what you put in. Ultimately, great content will lead to results when you do things properly, consistently, and always have a high quality aspect. And you don't do this once in a while. You don't do it sometimes. You show up and you do it every single day. You just live it and breathe it in your life. And by doing this, you have to give your clients and followers the right amount of attention and discipline. You need to make sure you're on it. What value are you providing them with this? Why should they use your service and the product? Does your content and brand provide them with a comfortable and authentic feel? Because people can see through BS. Ask these questions when you're generating content and be disciplined at doing it. I don't care if it's a huge post or a small post. You need to be thinking about this. Don't just make shit just to make shit. It's baffling the amount of people that do this. So we go to the next slide. I kind of put these in because I kind of try to live it with myself personally and professionally. Develop healthy routines. Keep learning about new technology and applications. Go do seminars, do phone-in conference calls. Keep up to date. Read up on things. Keep learning all the time. Keep an eye on the trends and try to learn how to develop your own trends. I cannot stress this enough, and this is what I've kind of learned just from doing my own thing, is that when you start doing your own thing and you kind of ignore the outside noise, it'll prevail if you just keep your head down and keep working, and people will see that you're developing your own niche. Daily learning, always, lifelong learning. If you're not learning a little bit every day, I don't care if it's an off day, you can always learn something, watch a documentary, read a book, eat a healthy meal. Think about your long-term goals and any of your decision making professionally and personally. So when you're coming out with content or you're trying to brand yourself in a unique way, always think about where you want to see yourself long term. Everybody in North America is so short term. You got to think long term. Positive and optimistic mindset will always shine through on your content, clients, or anything that you do. So the way you bring it and the way you show up will always have an excellent outlook. Trying new concepts and failing leads to growth. So just by constantly getting the discipline, by doing new things and trying new things, and by continually going at it, you're going to be growing times four compared to those that are not doing this every single day. So we go to the third on the list, generate authentic or organic and authentic content. So you've got to be able to embrace your brand, own your individuality and be proud of it. Whatever company you are, whatever you're doing, own it. Don't be shy, just own it. People see through BS. I mentioned this earlier. You got to be authentic in order to show your brand, content, and the product and service that you provide isn't full of shit. As I said, people smell through shit, and the amount of people and organizations that don't get this baffles me. That's my word for this presentation, baffling. You will gain more views on your social media aspect by generating organic and unique content. And this goes in with the last few rules. You've got to be disciplined and you have to make high quality content. Making your own content and not being afraid of doing it is different from doing it from your competitors. So don't be afraid if it's different from your competitors, right? Make your own content, try new things, and be willing to learn from the kind of work that you do. Very, very important. Something that a lot of people are kind of missing, and I think when you see how LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter, these are just some of the few. When you look at companies like Hootsuite, for example, where people are like, "Oh, you can post the same thing on with using our program, and it'll go the same thing on all of the devices." Well, this is not really. I would not be investing in those kind of companies or using them because all of these companies that I've listed right here, you now need to make your own organic content for each of these applications, which means it takes more time, it takes more energy, it takes more critical thinking, especially if you want to increase the spreadability of it. So when people are saying, yeah, I use Hootsuite, well, you're not really gaining that much traction because if you're sending the same post to all of these or any other ones that you may use, you will not get the authentic attraction of going to like LinkedIn and uploading a video yourself. You'll gain more views than tagging a video from YouTube. Same with Facebook. Little things like that that you cannot do well with these kind of companies and devices that are like, oh, we can post on everything, Google Plus, all that. So you need to make sure that you're coming up with your own ideas and own content for each of these, any content, social media or branding applications that you use. It takes more time, but it'll be more effective in the long term, and that's what it's all about. Get better each and every day. You have to have daily goals in your personal and professional life to grow. If you want to lead a life that you know have in your mind or your goals or whatever is in your head, you've got to get better every day in some way, shape, or form. You know, learn from yesterday's work and content. So, did the kind of work that you do, did it work? If so, what worked? Did it fail? If so, why did it fail? What was learned? You need to learn this ASAP all the time. What was the learning aspect of it? I've seen a lot of people in the professional setting roll their eyes. And I'm talking bosses in their mid 30s, 40s, 50s, and the way if they're running their companies just by rolling their eyes on what did we learn from that day, or you know, you're gonna fail long term. And I honestly want those kinds of people to fail because those people that are putting in the time and learning every day and trying to get better, they're going to be successful long term. And if you're not willing to change your approach and learn from your previous day's work, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. So constantly getting better is a huge aspect. You know, generating new outside of the box ideas. That's a way, just every day brainstorm. Um, Generating, you know, this is why I say get better each and every day, is because coming up with good content, it takes time, it takes effort and hours of strategic thinking. The amount of people in my university class, because I'm in the last year of my communications peer degree program, this is my sixth year at getting it done at this point, 2018, March 1st or March 2nd. There's a lot of people in my program that don't understand that when they get these jobs, this isn't just a 9 to 5 job. You're constantly thinking about it. You constantly need to be thinking of how do you need to get things better, what kind of content you need to come up with. Because let me tell you, clients can smell it when individuals and companies are stalemate. And that is some of the biggest problems in this day and age with a lot of companies around the world and people. You should never be wasting a day. You should always be getting a little bit better each and every day. So we go to our next one. Own your shit. This is huge. When things go well, own it. When things go horribly and shitty, own it. The second you do not own your shit, you lose all credibility on all fronts. Personally, professionally, whatever. I don't know about any of you, but I like being honest and upfront. Life is not about what you get, but it's about who you become in the process. You need to build a culture around trust, honesty, and respect. Those are 3 rules that I have, and I mention to every single client before I work with them. This strengthens your relationship, increases growth on all fronts, long term, because that's always the goal, and gets you referrals from your clientele and partners. And I have to say, it's very flattering when you're getting client work, and I'm feeling this right now when you get referrals. That means people trust you enough to take the time to talk about you in a positive way. Think about this. Everyone is so negative in this world. So when they're taking the time to positively think about you and tell you about someone, that's huge. So own your shit always. And do not be afraid. This is something I've learned just from kind of being in the PR environment with people in the industries. Do not be afraid to fix and edit your content when things get posted. It's better to have and own up to it, as I say. But it's better to have the right content. You can always make mistakes with it and try to work through it. And I think a lot of people are kind of always afraid about that. But we're human. And don't be afraid to admit your mistakes with any of your content. And just by owning up to it, in this day and age, God, there's a new news cycle. There's something new every single day. Own up to it. Be vulnerable. Because if you want to have honest relationships with your clientele and people that want to work with you, you have to be vulnerable and honest. Sometimes you will get burned. But if you're able to show your true colors, people will see it and they'll want to be a part of that. And they'll want you working on their content, or they'll want to work with your company or whatever. Be patient. I have to stress this with every single one of my clients. To build anything that's positive, long lasting, has growth, potential, positive aspects all around, you must be patient. Good, high quality content will reach a large number of viewers and potential clients with time. Do not force content spreadability. Boosting posts on Facebook is some of the stupidest thing. Some of the stupidest things it is. But boosting posts on Facebook is a waste of money. Don't do it. It's you will save more money by coming up with your own unique advertisement if you're a small business or a big business on, like, with your Facebook page or Instagram sponsoring, for example, by just coming up with a new advertisement instead of boosting posts. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. So there's no such thing. You can't force this content spreadability. It's either there or it isn't. But if it's good content, it'll take time. You don't want to have the needy, insecure, nice guy look as an organization. People hate it, and I hate that bullshit. Be genuine. Baby steps. Everything you do in your life, in your organization, whatever, it takes time. There's an investor, hedge fund manager I follow from Singapore, and Anton Creel, and he mentions this in his documentary, and I love it. The Financial Success, 10 Ways of Financial Success, check it out. But it takes 20 years to build an empire. That's just the way it is. And every detail that you do matters. So be patient and make sure you know what you're doing and trying your best every single day. Fail and recommit. Especially with your content, learn from the mistakes that was made and own it and use it and recommit the next time you do it. Branding and social media failures can be some of the best learning tools that you have in this day and age, because now you can instantly learn from it if you look at it objectively and you look at it properly. Take the emotion out of the equation, look at things objectively. Don't be afraid to say, hey, look, you know what? I love what we're doing, but this just didn't work. We're going to need to recommit and rework it tomorrow. Reworking and retooling content that didn't work the first time, I don't be afraid of doing it. If you have a good idea, sometimes it just takes time to rework the concept and strategy, the branding, whatever it is, the PR aspect of it. Never give up on something unless all of your options are really fully exhausted. So, as we get to the end of this presentation, ask why. Why are you doing what you are doing? The benefits, the pros and cons, objectives, culture. You know, you look at somebody like Roger Penske. Roger Penske, one of the winningest owners of the Indy 500 and the IndyCar series, and he's always made. I've always loved the way he talks, even if you're not into racing or IndyCar or whatever. But the way Roger Penske, it's like I think he mentioned this once. I'm trying to remember it, but it was along the lines of whatever you are saying when you're opening your mouth. What is the context of it, and what's the purpose? So why are you doing it? And that is what you really need to ask yourself, why? All like, why is this important? What is the benefit of me doing this? What is the pros? What are the pros and what are the cons? What are the objectives? Or is there going to be a culture gain for my company or individuality? Why are we doing it? Ask that before you finish anything, which is kind of like reading over things. Why? So finally, let's go through my 7 rules: quality over quantity, be devoted, decisive, and disciplined, generate organic and authentic content, get better each and every day, own your shit, be patient, fail, and recommit daily. So I want to thank you for listening and watching my presentation. If you want to get in contact with me and work with me personally, one-on-one, or with your team, please feel free to contact me. You can go through my website, jordanwilman.com, or contact me through email, j.wilman@outlook.com. I really look forward to helping you and your company excel, get better, and take advantage of your own individuality, uniqueness, brand building, social media, PR, whatever it is you need. Feel free to get in contact with me and we can figure something out. I work globally, so I can travel for work. And also I do a lot of my meetings, basically, my consulting. I can't even say it there after this presentation. A lot of my consulting online as well. So we can do online video chats through Zoom because I do have my private meeting board as well. So thank you so much for going through my presentation and spending the time. Feel free to share this with your friends, family, or anyone you think that could really use this and help them grow. Thank you so much, and yeah, stay tuned for more in the future. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care. Have a great day.